Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this another brand new day, and me waving my hands in the air like I just don't care. Thumbs up. To me, once again, I don't sound like me at all, so I have no ideas if I do or not. I'll find out in editing if I sound awful, my apologies. If I sound fine, again, my apologies for making a big deal out of it. But with, the distance to my ears, bone conduction, traveled through the liquid of my body, I sound absolutely awful. I do not sound like me. But every day so far, I have sounded fine in editing. So, sorry to make a big deal out of it, but it's right there up in front. It doesn't sound right. It doesn't feel right either. I still have to push to be able to talk. So, thumbs up on that. The last couple nights, I have slept very, very well. It has been awesome. I was halfway worried last night because usually before I go to bed, I take 2 edibles of 10 milligrams of THC each before I go to bed so that I can have continued pain control longer as I sleep. And there's good and bad in having just 10 milligrams in a candy, because that means you're paying like $1.50 for 10 milligrams of THC, and that's not much. At the same time, THC breaks down in your body differently, whether you smoke it or vape it or you ingest it. Your liver treats it differently. If you eat THC and then it gets into your system, what your liver breaks it down that way, what your body does to break down food and such, and your liver, it's got to break stuff down, and each molecule is made out of smaller pieces. So it just breaks pieces of molecules down into smaller molecules until it's been broken down as far as it can go, and then it's just out through the kidneys. So it just breaks the molecules into smaller molecules until they're just as small as they can go. These metabolites, as they are known though, for THC, it may be at a level of, it gets you right here. And then your liver and your body starts to break it down and releases it as the smaller metabolites. These are 4 to 11 times as THC affecting your body than the stuff that you ate in the first place. That's one of the reasons it's so hard to judge what's going to happen, because as your body breaks it down, it's getting rid of it, but as it's getting rid of it, you're being affected 4 to 11 times as hard as the stuff that is breaking down. So it's pretty crazy. But last night I did not take any. I forgot. And so when I was in bed, I went, I'll probably be okay. And I slept great. With the head of my bed up, I feel it in my external parts, my skeletal muscular system over my pressure points where my weight comes on the external part of my hip. That hurts a little bit. Gone as soon as I move. I got a little kink in my back, but move and that goes. I have not had bad cramping, but I got 3 air-moving fans in my room, and so it's taken a lot of work, but I'm able to sleep. I still don't sleep a whole night through. I still have to wake up to full consciousness to turn over, because I still basically do not move while I am sleeping. And so I have to come to full wakefulness of something if I'm uncomfortable so I can turn over. Whereas most other people, when they are sleeping, you come to half consciousness to the point that you can move, and then you sink back down. You never come to full wakefulness. Except I don't move when I sleep. I have to come to full wakefulness. Enjoy on that. I had momentarily thought of an amazing thing that I wanted to talk about as I was talking about that. But I didn't want to derail my train of thought, and now I've forgotten what it was I was going to talk about. The One thing I do want to mention, and I am everywhere with my train of thought. I slept, but not wonderfully. It's like I get to bed around 11ish, and then I wake up those few times, and I'm awake at 5 o'clock. It's just I don't want to get out of bed until 5:30. So, yay on that. One of the things, as mentioned, I did want to talk about, though, I sort of wish, well, it's a push I'm going to have to make to change habits, because before I went walkies, I started thinking in my head about the story that I wanted to write. And as I was walkies, I figured out how to write it, and then I wrote it in my head as I was walking. But of course, when I get back, it doesn't matter how I feel before I go walkies. It doesn't matter how I feel while I'm going walkies. When I get back, I am exhausted physically and mentally. So the idea was before I got back that I was going to write this thing. And then as soon as I got back, it's like, why do I do this? So yeah, I've got to block out some time during the day to do some writing. I got to block out some parts of the day to do various things, especially since, and I'm going to jump quickly off on another subject and then hopefully come back to this one, especially since I now have all of my channels that I'm going to be making active now. I have a reaction channel. I haven't had a reaction yet. I have a creative expression channel, creative and disturbing, and I've got a song mutilation up on that, so that's good. I still got that game channel, and then of course there's this one. It's like, why are you doing this? If you, that's, well, you know, I'm trying to not get big. I know that's not gonna happen, but right now with my channel, I've talked about this sort of thing, just YouTube and such, periodic times, because hey, I'm a YouTuber. It affects me, even if it's not a major part of, you know, my income in my life. It's still a thing that affects me. And after watching, like, Jacksepticeye talked about this, where it's, you know, a lot of people split their stuff up because otherwise YouTube is just not going to do it. You mix your stuff up in a variety channel like I've been doing, YouTube doesn't know how to properly promote it in the algorithm, so they just don't. If you have gaming material, then they're going to send it off to your gaming people and promote it to gaming people. But if you start doing stuff that's not gaming, that doesn't fit the algorithm, and so it doesn't get promoted. But that's also driving down the other stuff because this isn't getting promoted, so a lot of people aren't watching, and if you're not being watched, you're not being promoted. And so you start to drive your own channel down through the algorithms with that, because as somebody else noted, you know, we had people teaching the algorithms how and what to do, but now the algorithms are teaching the YouTubers what to do. Because if we do stuff the algorithm doesn't like, then we get punished hard. It doesn't get promoted at all. So the algorithm is training YouTubers to chase it. And of course, the algorithms are changing all the time, so you've got to struggle and fight to keep up. But it's not a wonderful trend. But back to that story thing, because I was out doing walkies, and I did write the story. It is not a challenges to overcome story. It is a accepting inevitability story. And basically, that's sort of what all the stories are in this one particular world, in the cosmic horror framework, with this one character, Tammy Bayman, that I've written about and talked about. I finally figured out her full name. I've been trying to give her a middle name and nothing has fit. It's like the only thing is like, well, you know, there's like Tammy Lynn, or nothing else really sounds like normal. So I was out walking, it popped into my head. Well, she calls herself Tammy, but you know, she full name is Tamitha Lynn Bayman. So, yay. And she's, like somewhere between 5'6" and 5'8". She's around 140 pounds. She has the appropriate build and weight distribution for a woman of her height and age. She's in her mid-30s. She's blonde, wears kind of a simple page boy cut because it's easy. So, yay, Tamitha Lynn Bayman. And it's a very depressing story, and I'm kind of worried about this one too, because it's going to go up on my Disturbing Creative channel. I'm just going to read it as not going to have me that you see reading it, just stuff for the background. But it is a very, very sad story. She lives in a universe where it's not going to end well. All through human history in their world, there has been this death cult that has plagued humanity, where people have fallen prey somehow to this death cult with I can't remember the name of the term, but it's, you pass the title down to heirs. There is a title of Cody Ron and the consort Angoka, the two traditional leaders, but it's you don't live forever. It's you live and die, and then there's a new leader chosen, and then so the title is passed on. That's always Cody Ron. But there's this death cult. Nobody knows how it gets to you, but you get indoctrinated. And then after a while, when you start dreaming and you're hearing the voices, eventually you pick up something and you go out and you kill. Amelia, come on. You'll go out in a minute. She's been going in and out and in and out and in and out all morning. It's wonderful. This is the world she lives in. Now, that's how they've interpreted this. There is no death cult. There is no leaders. One of the cosmic horrors, Kadiran, has its attention focused in a universe in another zone, but the heat and the pressure radiating out from that attention is leaking into their universe, and reality is bending and creaking, and cracks have appeared, and extra universal energies have leaked in, and everything's on a downward spiral, and it's not, in a couple hundred years, it's not going to be good on their world. It's not good now, because after all, the main character, first time that she was ever sick, for the first time in her life, she stayed home, and it's good she did, because the day that she stayed home sick, first time in her life, one of her coworkers went to work with a briefcase full of kitchen knives, and well, very soon there was only her left. And as she was leaving the building, even though the cops unloaded well over several hundred bullets into her, 2 headshots that removed her brain entirely, during and after that, she still threw one knife that went through a mask and into the brain. And after there was no brain even left, the body kept going forward, hit one of the cops. Well, the blade went in under the armpit through a chink and managed to perforate heart and lungs. So Tammy's the only one left out of the place she worked in. That kind of world. And worse, of course, because she needs to take some time off. In nostalgia, when she was young, her parents used to go on vacation and take her to this one town. So nostalgia, she's going to go back. And so she goes there, and that's where she finds out that there's this horrific swamp monster thing that has killed 90% or converted 90% of the town, and it ends up where she's the only one left alive after she kills the thing, and finds out that she has the talent where she can't be hurt. If you swing at her, Well, she's going to manage to fall at just the right time to save her from maximum, not getting damaged. And you swinging a baseball bat will probably fall in just the right way that you die. So she doesn't get hurt. Even when at one point there were several thousands of these beasts coming at her in the nighttime. And she was the only one left standing when it was all over. Because after all, when she stumbled, 2, 3, or 4 of them in the ruckus of that would end up taking each other out with their claws and damages. So, joy on that. And so it's a very sad and depressing story. I hope to get that done today. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments on my community tab. And I'm going to go through and thank, however many people have left comments, up to 20 to 25. Thumbs up for that. If I mispronounce a username, no disrespect is intended. I'm an American English speaker. And even though I count American Sign Language on the fingers of this hand, with my depression, fibro, cannabis use for pain, partially treated ADHD, I'm doing 1,000% better every single day. But I still have issues. So let me call my Chrome, and we have Dangerous D. Thumbs up and thank you. There is Mackie, M-A-C-C-Y. Thumbs up. Swifty LMP, greatly appreciated. Lil Moon, thumbs up. Confused Owl 29, good to see you in the comments. And thank you. Christopher Thomas, greatly appreciated. Fargrond, it is very good to see you in the comments. Thank you. DVR03, thumbs up and thank you. Kapaki, big package, by golly. And we have Rihanna Rolf, thumbs up. Govind666 Sharma, thumbs up. Mags J, greatly appreciated. Meow, thumbs up. David Braithwaite, greatly appreciated. Hellboy, thumbs up. And there is Linda Creel, K-R-E-E-L-B, thumbs up and thank you. Ricky Bettini with a daily reminder to live every day to its fullest. There is Lynn, who was actually yesterday, so cut that back one. And thank you, each and every one of you. You get me out of my head and into the world, dealing with real people, if only a text, and it is appreciated to know when. Thumbs up and thank you. If you could check out my various links down below, that would be very, very cool. Oh, and before I say that, I had mentioned that I had gotten a box and I had not opened it by the time that I had done my vlog yesterday. I had thought from the weight it might have been Reptisand. It was Potatotron who went and sent 2 boxes of cat food. Again, thank you so much. It is greatly appreciated. You're taking better care of me than I am taking of me. I need to put those things on the Amazon wish list. Thank you so very much. My kitty cat, my hamster, if they could speak and they were able to process, would thank you as well. But if you could check out those links, that would be awesome. I have Twitter, Facebook, Patreon.com, and if you could become a Patreon.com patron, like one of these beautiful and awesome people, that would be beautiful and awesome. And if you wanted to help me out without sending money to the patronage, I have a PayPal link down below. And if you wanted to help me out without sending money at all, hopefully I will finally get my Amazon wish list updated with things like Reptisand and hamster food and cat food and hamster bedding and hopefully a pair of shoes. My right shoe is mostly duct tape. It still works, but it's mostly duct tape. So thumbs up for that. Now, of course, I try to remember it's the whole, if you cannot donate and you simply, no, that's it. Do not feel obligated, because I do not feel, derailing myself, you see, I still get lost. If you cannot donate, or you do not feel obligated, I do not feel entitled, and if you cannot donate or you simply do not donate, I take all good wishes and I do deposit them in the bank of my heart where I draw interest. So thank you very much. And if you could toss me a like, I appreciate all the positive validation I get for my existence. See, once I'm on track, not that I am track, once I'm back on track, I can do it. And of course, if you could hit the notification bell on a subscription button, that would be very cool. Greatly appreciated. Thumbs up for that. Hokey smoke. I got lost there. That was rough. The trees were smacking me in the face with their branches, but I found the trail. Well, holy smokes. As stated, I'm going to hopefully get that thing written and recorded. I mean, I've got a whole bunch of channels to do. So hopefully, I'm going to put down the descriptions down below, and there's hopefully wherever corner that goes in, and maybe some other way to you can find those channels, because I'm proud of the things that I do. So thumbs up for that. So, be safe and smart if you go out. I wear a mask when I do. I am fully vaxxed. I maintain my social distancing. I wash my hands. I try not to touch my face when I am out and about. So I haven't had a cold in the past year. So it works. It's a good idea. And of course, there's other reasons too. That pandemic is far from over. So, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. And that is a definite thumbs up.